You okay with me recording?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so this is a pre-observation meeting. I'm supposed to conduct a video record and pre-observation meeting to review the classroom context, or what your take, your perspective on this context, identify the teacher's self-assessment of instructional needs and challenges, both academic and effective, and identify student learning needs and challenges within the context of the lesson that I'm going to observe, and agree on a coaching focus by selecting a specific CSTP and one of or two of its elements, right? And I'm supposed to collect a lesson plan from you as well. Okay. Let's go through this number one, right? So what's the topic of discussion?
So they're going to be talking about how to convert slope-intercept form to standard form and standard form to slope-intercept form. They're also going to learn how to graph given a standard form using the x and y-intercept.
Okay. Oh, actually, I'm not going to take any notes down because I have it on video.
Oh, there we go.
So, check. Okay. Classroom setting.
Usually my students are in pairs, and so they're used to working in pairs, but tomorrow, because it's a review lesson, they're going to be in groups of 4.
Okay,
And
groups.
then later on throughout the period, they are going to be changing the groups, but throughout the whole time, they are going to be paired or in groups.
Okay. Sounds good. They're going to be using the classroom for anything else? Like, I see you have whiteboards all across, all around.
I don't think they're going to be using it tomorrow.
Okay.
I should have had it.
No. Description of students served and their learning needs. So what's your, basically, your kind of like your demographics, or what kind of students do you have?
I have a variety, like at all wavelengths. Some students who are very struggling, especially 7th period, and some kids are like, they're at the top, and so they probably don't even need me. But I have, because 7th period, I have some students gone a lot.
Okay.
So absent is a big problem in this class, not because they want to, but because of
Like
sports and
sports,
everything. We had one girl come back from a week-long time off, and so she's going to be a little lost, and another student, definitely 2 other students who are just really lost. And so tomorrow is hopefully a little catch-up day for them.
Okay. Any kind of educational technology inside or outside the classroom?
We use the smartboard, not probably to the best ability and efficiency, but we use the smartboard. We sometimes use a calculator,
Okay.
and Desmos, but not tomorrow's lesson.
Okay. And then any other relevant classroom context information? I know I talked about the whiteboards, but anything else you might want to add?
Context information.
Just anything I should know about the lesson, or just the class?
We're taking a test in a few days, so it's more like a review
Okay.
day, and so that way, but I'm trying to fill in the holes. I think that's what it's all about, to make sure that all of the students are caught up with what they should know.
Okay. Okay. Let me check to see if my video is recording
Okay.
before we move on to number 2. So it is okay. Looks good. Okay.
Otherwise, I have to repeat everything.
Well, yeah. Okay, number 2. So we're supposed to talk about or identify the teacher's self-assessment or instructional needs and challenges. So basically, your instructional component regarding the lesson that you will be observed, including learning environment. Okay, I think we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
The environment, anticipated learning outcomes. Okay, we haven't talked about that.
Anticipated learning outcomes.
Yeah. So, well, you did mention that this was going to be kind of like a review.
Right.
So, do you anticipate? What do you anticipate here? Oh, hey, what's up? What's going on?
I'm hoping that they take charge of their learning. I'm
Okay.
hoping that they don't just sit back and kind of listen to others, and they are taking the initiative. If they are struggling also,
Okay.
the students who are struggling, they take the initiative of, like, I need to learn this, and so I need my group to help me out. But at the same time, the leaders, the students who are getting this material, they step up and they say like, let me help you. So I'm hoping that
Okay.
happens. Of course, we're working in, so the learning activities we're going to be doing in groups, and any accommodation modification, I don't believe so. I don't think that I have any.
All right, okay. Any additional information that, might be relevant to, this coaching cycle?
Additional information relevant to the coaching style.
I mean, if there's anything else, if not, you said.
Like, what kind of things are you looking for?
I'm not sure, actually. What kind of things do you want to
Additional
add?
information relevant to the coaching cycle. So as in, like, what kind of things can you observe? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, maybe, if you want me to look at some,
So that's one thing,
specifics.
so I think later on it says, what are we focusing on?
Yeah, so maybe that's
So
kinda-
I do want you to focus on, like, do you see students who are taking the back seat and not participating at all? And more importantly, are they hesitant to even ask questions?
Okay.
I think we do kind of see some of the students, but at the same time, when we're in a classroom setting,
Yeah.
like with all 30 kids, we sometimes don't see, we think that they're all participating, but they might not be.
Yeah, we all do that.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I do want you to
Okay.
focus on. And then, the second, so I'm talking about number 4, right?
Okay, yeah, so we're
Okay.
gonna.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're supposed to decide collaboratively, together.
Right.
One or two of our CSTP elements. So I got a list in the back for you.
So I looked at this, and the 2 that I decided that I was gonna focus on is 1.5, it says, ask students to facilitate discussion, clarify, and extend students' thinking.
Okay.
So make sure when they explain each question, they are clarifying and they're right, and they're discussing why you're doing every step, and, before they actually do it.
So just like a justification.
Right,
Okay.
so yes. And then the other one that I want you to focus on is create a classroom culture where students feel a sense of responsibility to
Which
and
one's that?
for one
Is that
another.
2.1?
It's 2.1.
Okay, stand 2.1.
Create, all the way
Okay,
bottom,
yeah.
okay, there we go. Create a classroom culture where students feel a sense of responsibility, as in, do they take initiative of their own learning?
Okay, and you mentioned that earlier
Yeah.
a little bit. Huh?
So,
All right. Okay.
it says 1, 2, and for one another, so not just for themselves, but also another student.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and I think number 5 is, I read that before, it looks almost the same. Collaboratively determine and review the plan protocols for the plan observation.
Including
Yeah.
the time and duration of the observation and focus.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
You will collect and share during the,
post-observation
Okay,
meeting.
so- and then
We've agreed that I will observe your 7th period.
right,
It will be a math
Math
1 class.
Mhm.
I will stay the whole period.
right,
And I will be focusing on our standard 1.5 and our 2.1.
right.
Right, and should I collect any post-observation meeting or any evidence, right? I'll just take down some notes, just for a couple things that you want to look at.
Sounds good.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do I just give you this as a lesson plan?
Yeah, yeah.